Hello, everyone. Long fucking time, no see. I've been struggling with extreme mental health issues, but I'm coming out of my hiatus uh, to aimlessly ramble about something that's pissed me off. Something I've never done before. Um, you motherfuckers know from the title exactly what this is gonna be about. Let's just fucking talk about it. Um, this is take two. I got some things wrong the first time, and it bothered me enough that for once I decided not to do the lazy thing and that I would actually film it again instead of just letting all the mistakes slide like I would usually do. This one deserves a modicum of care, in my opinion. Um, some important topics to talk about today. So, the obvious, the elephant in the room, Charlie Kirk being assassinated, which I personally did not expect. But as we're going to talk about today, historically speaking, is it that shocking? Stay tuned. Um, so, God, how do I start? It was hard enough to get started in the first take, but it feels even harder now. Um, so the recent context. This is all happening very unfortunately at the same time as the ongoing outcry after a detransition case, from what I can tell. I'm not positive. A trans person or former trans person, shit is unconfirmed and weird, um, shot up a school, shot some children, which is seemingly routine in this country, aside from the trans part. Sadly, that's kind of just the thing, is that this is the one that got people. We already had Newtown. We already had Parkland. This is the one that got people. And they're not even focused on the school side of things. They're focused on the transgender side of things, which is very unsurprising. We are talking about the average person here. Go out on the road and tell me how the average person drives. So yes, because of that shining intellect demonstrated by the average American, there has already been talk of how there needs to be a crackdown on transgender people, ban transgender people from owning guns and everything, because out of the 30 to 50 mass shootings per year, every year, over the past, I don't know, since records have been kept, they've found 5 to 10 maybe trans or leftist mass shooters. And we're just not talking about all the rest, okay? Those 5 to 10 out of the hundreds, that's an epidemic. That's the problem we all need to be worried about. Forget all the other hundreds of guys. It's goofy. But it's real. Because again, we are in fact talking about the average mind. So, for some more historical context, Charlie Kirk himself comments, especially in more recent times, I guess now towards the end of his life after what happened, it seemed that he was about to embark on an adventure to tarnish the image of Martin Luther King Jr. He is on record as saying that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. Funny. Can anybody tell me what happened to MLK? How did that story end? I mean, I'm just gonna fucking whip it right out, lay it on the table. I show you mine, you show me yours. Vance Bolter was fucking 4 months ago. Melissa Horton, remember that? 4 months ago. And as far as people from my hometown are considered, this is the first political casualty in America. I mean, I had my fucking mind forever changed by the murder of Heather Heyer by James Alex Fields back in the day. I believe it was 2015. If I'm correct, 2015 was also the year that my Facebook feed was flooded with pictures of a 2-year-old Syrian boy laying face down dead in the sand on the shores of Europe after his body washed up when his family, at least multiple members of his family, I don't know if it was his entire family, drowned trying to make it to Europe seeking refuge from the Syrian civil war. And that picture was all over my Facebook feed. And a lot of the people that are horrified at the death of Charlie Kirk had nothing to say about that little boy. His name, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, Alan Kurdi. I mean, this is YouTube. You guys have a huge boner for hating on particularly Muslim immigrants in Europe. That's your whole thing right now as a community. So a lot of you probably thought that was funny. There's probably some fucking bald-headed footy fan sitting in a pub like, oh, it's one less Muzzy stinking up the fish shop. Like, fuck you, bitch. It's a fucking 2-year-old boy face down dead in the sand, fleeing war. And you guys are on this fucking, oh, it's the great replacement. White people are dying out. Fucking stupid bullshit. That 2-year-old boy, his death didn't shock you. And, I mean, shit, the people from my hometown that are so upset about Charlie Kirk have been making jokes about George Floyd since the day he died, right up until fucking yesterday. Yesterday became the day that it's not funny when a man dies on camera. Until then, people thought it was hilarious, apparently, for all the fucking George Floyd jokes I've seen over the fucking years. Over a $20 bill that was allegedly counterfeit. That's what sparked off the attempted arrest of George Floyd that killed him. So, you know, Charlie was just speaking in public. All he did was talk about his views. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about the conversation of culpability and being a public figure and what your influence does to the world, how you use your platform. So to reach a little further back in history, we're going to invoke, I believe it's Godwin's Law, is that the name? And yeah, we're talking about the Nazis. You know I had to. It's the internet. Come on, we got to talk about the Nazis. Ah, boy, those meth heads. What did they do this time? Okay, so we're going to talk about a guy by the name of Reinhard Heydrich. Again, I didn't even try to pronounce that one properly. I can't roll my R's, you guys. Give me a break. So Reinhard Heydrich is widely considered to be the inventor of many of the sort of famous ideas of the Nazi regime. He had a lot to say about the concentration camp system. He was extremely influential in the organization and running of the SS. You know, all kinds of great shit like that. I believe he was involved in the planning of the Night of the Long Knives. Shit like that. You know, but, as far as I'm aware, he never shot or stabbed or strangled or gassed a Jewish person. Never once. He didn't go around killing Jewish people. Now, again, he was definitely responsible for helping set up the concentration camps. He helped Hitler get into power. You know, he ran a lot of like the intelligence and espionage type shit for the Third Reich. But I mean, he wasn't a murderer. You know, all he was doing was he was an ideas man. He was just coming up with ideas, right? What happened to the Nazis again? How did that story end? Wasn't there something to do with the U.S. military? Didn't we? I think we sent them over there, right? What did they do? Did they vote out Hitler? Is that what they did? They cast their ballots over in Europe? Is that what the American soldiers did to end Nazism? And then they all sat down and had dinner at Nuremberg. Right? You know, just how they voted out MLK. But that's just the thing, is, you know the proverb. Those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. Here you go. It's happening again. I mean, shit. Aside from all of this bullshit going on, I recently saw that the Western AI overlords, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and the like, are talking about how we've got to compete with China's AI development and how that's becoming an AI arms race. We're doing the Cold War again, ladies and gentlemen. It's not nukes this time. We already have those. It's the AIs that are going to be controlling the nukes. No, instead of having the distinguished Mr. Stanislav Petrov sitting at the launch button, it's going to be Grok. He's going to be making that decision for humankind. So watch out for that coming in the near future. Couldn't go wrong. Harlan Ellison wouldn't have anything to say about that. Oh, we're fucked. We're fucked. That's the thing, is after this event, I would say we're about at the Kristallnacht segment of our history repetition. So for those of you out there who are trans or leftist, or especially leftist trans people, I would just go ahead and assume that all of your internet data ever is being fed through Palantir right now, so that a map can be created of all of us, that the federal agents are going to go from door to door and visit all of the dissidents as marked by AI who have parsed our social media. No one needs to comment on how accurate that process will be, but I'm sure it's about to happen. Get ready for that now. And when you see me go completely dark forever and wonder what happened, I'm going to go on record and say that I have no intentions of killing myself. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because I'm too much of a coward. That's been the case for years. If I could do it, I would have done it in middle school. I'm 30. I'm not doing it. So when I disappear, you know where I went. Maybe someplace like Alligator Alcatraz. Let's talk about that one. These life-loving, freedom-loving people that are all about tolerance and respecting people's rights to hold whatever opinions they want, etc., are also very fond of the concept of this prison camp complex thing that they're talking about, this Alligator Alcatraz, where they're going to send the illegals. Of course, we're not talking about the part where Laura Loomer, I think that was the platform she was using, tweeted something along the lines of, oh, the alligators will get 65 million meals if we start now. That's the total number of all Latinos in the U.S., whether illegal or not. That's all Latinos in the U.S. that she's talking about feeding to alligators in a prison. So that's the amount of respect that these people have for your life. Maybe that's the amount of respect that Brian Thompson had for human life. Do you remember the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, from not that long ago by one handsome Mr. Luigi Mangione? Not a lot of people were very upset to see that guy go. And of course, we all know why. Because he was the United Healthcare CEO. This is a company that makes its money on denying people healthcare coverage because they just don't want to pay for that shit. They want you to pay for it. And if you can't pay for it, then you can't have it. And What recourse do you have? What are you going to do about it? You're just some person on the street. Who cares? When you have more money than God, it just doesn't matter. You can treat people however the fuck you want, and they can die. They can suffer financial ruin that they can never recover from. Their whole entire family is destroyed. But those are statistics. You're not doing that to them with your bare hands. You're just running a business. You're just making money. You're an innocent man. Of course, we all know that that's bullshit, and that's why we weren't sad when he got clapped. Because there is some culpability beyond just direct face-to-face, person-on-person physical violence. Like, you can harm people in other ways than that. And it's important that we need to be able to hold people responsible for that. You know, things like the failed war in Afghanistan, things like Trump's tariffs, the loss of Roe v. Wade. Like, these were not all things that just magically happened. They didn't fall out of the fucking sky. There were people involved. Human people. Chiefly politicians, for one thing. Businessmen as well. But the thing is, the politicians are ostensibly elected. And they get there through campaigns. They convince people to vote for them. And they also have to convince the establishment to accept them as a possible candidate. If the establishment doesn't want you, you're not getting in. So out of the options that they allow us to choose, those people go on and campaign. They run ads. They make the rounds on the podcasts and everything, blah, blah. And especially in terms of like podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff like that, Charlie Kirk was a critical element in propelling Donald Trump to both of his presidencies. And I'm just wondering how much responsibility does he hold? Is it truly none? You know, when this is the regime that is planning things like Alligator Alcatraz, when this is the regime who is making little effort to staunch the ongoing genocide between Israel and Palestine, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like there may be some responsibility. I feel like maybe this was not just some poor guy who wanted to speak in public. Okay? Again, he said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. He also said, by the way, let me rewind it a second. So Nancy Pelosi, you know who that is, right? Her husband almost got his head caved in by a guy wielding a hammer. Charlie Kirk said that his fans should bail that guy out. He said that some patriot should be a midterm hero and bail that guy out. The hammer smashing in head guy against a husband of a politician that he doesn't like. So if you're going around saying that political violence is completely unacceptable in any circumstance, Charlie Kirk says, no, you're wrong. Just to let you know. And of course, everyone's already sharing that he made his Second Amendment comments essentially along the lines of, if you want to make an omelet, you're going to have to crack a few eggs. If you want the Second Amendment, some people are going to die here and there, and that's fine, is essentially the point that he made. Now, personally, I'm still pro Second Amendment myself. I'm not even in favor of an assault weapons ban or anything like that. Like, I've owned ARs myself. The thing is, people don't want to admit it, but this is America. And this is kind of the world. This is humanity. This is what we've been doing for a hot minute. I'm able to draw these historical parallels to MLK or the Nazis or whatever, because that shit happened. And it happened, some of it almost 100 years ago. And it's happening again. And boy, does it fucking suck to live through it. Especially as one of these scapegoat demographics that has no say, no power in the society, and just gets to be a spectator as my rights are argued about in the public square. And by the way, we are already being blamed for fucking Charlie Kirk, when by the way they haven't fucking caught the shooter yet. Nobody actually knows that it's a leftist. And you can say, well, the victim was Charlie Kirk. It obviously had to be a leftist. But like, Malcolm X got shot by members of the Nation of Islam. Like, you don't know. You don't know. You're just jumping to the conclusion because you want to, because it's convenient, because you're shocked. It was a graphic video. I'll fucking hand it to you there. I'm desensitized to shit like that, but a lot of you aren't, and so it really fucked you up to see something like that. But, I mean, a couple hundred people die in Palestine every day. There are plenty of sick videos from that, but they don't go viral, so you don't give a fuck. Fucking killed George Floyd over $20, and you people thought it was so funny. I can't even be fucking relieved that Ben Shapiro might stay inside for a week or two. Fuck. Dude needs to quit and just like learn to bake or something. Take up a fucking hobby. Isn't fucking regurgitating Austin comedy scene bullshit as if it's fucking factual. Needs to be legislation. Like, God, that's what I was watching before I fucking saw the news. Like, I immediately went from watching Jordan Jensen humiliate herself, sounding like fucking Joe Rogan, and then immediately found out Charlie Kirk got shot. So that was interesting. Okay, I'm sorry, but as an aside, I just have to do this. Like, every fucking conservative comedian for like a decade now, bro, has had one joke. Like, these motherfuckers, they'll be up there on stage and they're like, okay, so I got to the coffee shop and I look at my barista and she, oh, I'm sorry, I mean they, pause for laughs, they had a septum piercing and blue hair, pause for laughs again. And so she, I'm sorry, they, pause for laughs again, handed me my coffee and said, have a nice day, sir. And I fucking gasped. Did you just assume my gender? Pause for laughs, but longer this time. All right, thank you everybody for coming out. That's been my hour. Thank you, Netflix. That's been their entire bit for like a decade. And then I was watching that shit. Jordan Jensen is still trying to make that same lame ass joke. Like, God, what a hack. Anyways, that's part of what makes this all so stupid. Is it's the era of podcast comedians giving people their opinions. Like, I think a lot of these people have never even actually fucking seen any Charlie Kirk. They might have been more appalled if they had known what he actually talked about as a person. They just see that it's some guy wearing a suit and acting like an old school politician, and so like he's respectable. You know, this civil young man just talking. Yeah, man. I don't know. This is all not to say that I'm thrilled with any of this sequence of events, because I'm the scapegoat demographic. I'm going to be the first one to get fucking rounded up and carted off. So no, I'm not posting this or saying this as any sort of revelry in the man's death. I am really just frustrated that people are making a martyr out of him. He isn't a fucking martyr. And nothing is known about the suspect yet. And all of this shit has already been happening for so long, but this is the first time that the victim was just a popular conservative guy, and the footage went viral. Fucking whatever, man. It pisses me off. It's so stupid. God. God, there was more that I wanted to say, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now because I'm fucking frustrated and annoyed. It's all so annoying. Ugh. I don't know, man. Everybody thinks that they have the answer. Everybody thinks that they know something. Everybody thinks that they're in the right, that they're morally clean. But America is centered around the concept of revenge. Just plain vengeance. Without concern for reason or sense or outcome. None of that matters. We just want revenge. Like a lot of you, I'm sure, are watching this video and you're frustrated that the comments are closed and you're like, oh, you should be shot in the neck. That's what you're going around telling each other. Everybody on the internet right now telling each other that they should be shot fatally in the neck. That's America for you, baby. That's our true face right there. That's our nature creeping out. And we're all seeing it. We're seeing it in each other, but we're not seeing it in ourselves. But that's just the way that we are. Because we're right. We're the good guys. We know what's best for everybody else. And your side are the violent barbarians that do this all the time. And my side are clean and pure. And I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else. And so are you. We're burning in hell already. There is not one that exists in the afterlife. It is here and we made it. It's our fault. We are all to blame. Every single one of this. You are feeling it now too, I guarantee it. You want revenge, don't you? You are fantasizing. Even if you aren't about this specific scenario, might I ask how you feel about the death penalty? Or the fact that American prisons have a high recidivism rate, whereas other prisons that you view as too soft actually rehabilitate criminals so that they get out and don't reoffend. America loves revenge. Just fucking loves it. We hate when it's not our side getting it, but every time, you know, somebody fucking posts a W on their team, we're gonna be coming after. You know, we got to get back. We got to get back at them. That's the American way. And I know you are all feeling it too. Everybody wants to get back at somebody. So, I don't think that's new. As I'm drawing all of these historical comparisons, it's not new. It's the way that we've always worked. We haven't grown up. Sucks for us, I suppose. Sucks for all the people who are going to die who weren't doing any of this shit in the first place, weren't going on speaking tours, weren't campaigning for politicians, weren't funding think tanks, weren't taking bribes, weren't doing any of that other shit. We're just going to work, coming home and sleeping and washing the dishes. And we're going to pay the price. It's going to start with people like me, but just you wait. They'll get around to people like you. You know, they might run through all 65 million Latinos first, but when those people can't fill the prisons anymore, well, shit. Somebody in the prison system has got to make a fucking buck. So, I'll see you there. Or, I don't know. Maybe you'll see my ashes in there. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your country.